I made a video about an Alabama cult not so long ago, which definitely had some terrifying elements to it, but I can for sure say that this one is on a higher level. This mystery is fairly up to date, and there is the attempt to find the children that went missing for months now, which hopefully are still alive, but with the information I gathered is sadly extremely unlikely. There are multiple people involved in this case, and a lot of things remain unsolved or unknown, so I'll try my best to cover this as good as possible with the information given publicly. I may consider making an update video if there's more to this topic, so you can subscribe if that interests you. Let's dive into this. The first and one of the most important people for this case is Chad Daybell. Chad Daybell is an author who published multiple books already that deal with apocalyptic events and scenarios. He also published an autobiography just 3 years ago depicting himself as a member of Christianity. On top of that, he claims to be highly spiritual. Interesting to note here as well is that Chad Daybell claimed numerous times to have visions. Visions of spiritual and apocalyptic matters. When his wife Tammy Daybell passed away, he claimed that he knew that she was going to pass away, and further also claims that he knew of 9/11 1 year before it even happened. And so he thinks of himself as a prophet of some sort, prophesying events before the events even happen. That this guy is probably not mentally stable is highly likely to formulate it carefully. Also interesting for this case is that he's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or short LDS. This will become more important later on. Anyhow, what was first assumed to be a natural of Tammy Daybell is now being investigated. Why, you may ask? Well, Chad Daybell increased her life insurance before she passed away and actively refuses an autopsy to find a possible reason for her death. Further, her passing away was quite unexpected, so it's even more strange that he doesn't even want to find out the reason as to why she passed away. Interesting is also that after just a few weeks or so, he married Lori Vallow. That Chad Daybell looks suspicious now is quite the understatement. What should we know about the woman Chad Daybell married? Lori Vallow plays a significant role in this case, maybe a bigger role than Chad himself. Lori Vallow herself is a mother of 2 missing children that were last seen on the 23rd of September 2019. The very interesting thing about Lori Vallow is the fact that there are numerous mysterious surrounding her, and she is also a big believer in apocalyptic scenarios and cult-oriented religious beliefs such as LDS. With this information given, we can only hope that the children are okay, which I honestly extremely doubt. Lori Vallow was married to a guy named Joseph Ryan. He passed away in 2018 due to a heart attack, but they were divorced way earlier than that. They had a daughter though, which is 17 years old and is one of the children that is missing. In 2006, she married Charles Vallow and they adopted a 7-year-old, which is now also missing. On July 11, 2019, he was during an argument with Lori Vallow's brother. The brother passed away after a few months under unknown circumstances and was never charged with of Charles Vallow. As I mentioned prior, the LDS community is important for this case. Preparing a people is a forum for members of the LDS community. The Doomsday is pretty much the main topic in that forum, and they discuss which preparations should be made before it's too late. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are both known members of that community, and the community itself had public speaking events and also podcasts where both of them were personally present. If you're engaged in a community like that, you obviously get to know like-minded individuals. Relatives of Lori Vallow have expressed concerns over how obsessed she is with that group. In fact, a relative named Brandon even claims that all of these mysteries surrounding her, the children's disappearance, Vallow's and the drive-by attempt on Brandon himself from a Jeep registered to Charles Vallow, are connected to the LDS community and to Lori Vallow. In the divorce paperwork from Charles Vallow prior to him passing away, that Lori believes she was a god preparing for Christ's second coming in July 2020. So he also kind of confirms what most of the other relatives claim, that she's obsessed with the idea of apocalyptic events, sees herself as a god, and that she also found like-minded individuals in that cult. But what Charles also wrote down in his paper is way darker. He wrote that if he got in Lori's way, that she would him or have him, which was obviously true in the end since he got by Lori's brother. And before they divorced, she moved large sums of money to an unknown bank account, which makes the assumption that Lori planned all of this. Lori explained to her family multiple times her concerns about the Doomsday and the reborn of Jesus on July 2020. She even went so far to tell a relative that she would be better off driving her kids off a cliff in order to spare them from the horrors of the Doomsday. If she actually did this or not is not proven, but her children have been missing for months now. The last sighting of the children was on the 8th of September 2019 in Yellowstone National Park, and people speculate that the bodies of these children lie there. The most interesting part of this, and why it is very likely that Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are behind the disappearances, is that only concerned relatives informed authorities about the disappearances. Neither Chad nor Lori contacted the authorities after the disappearance of their own children. After being questioned by authorities, both of them claimed that their children are staying at a relative's place in Arizona. After police found out that they were lying about this, they wanted to search the house and question them, but both vanished. Well, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow both claim that they are loving parents and that their children support them. They are still hiding and no one really knows where they are. Last confirmed sightings of Lori and Chad was in Hawaii, where both of them were seen without their children. After a few months, Lori was identified in Idaho and is on bail, but still refuses to say where the bodies of their children are. There was a court case just recently, but the judge removed himself from this case. The reason is unknown. The case will continue with a new judge on May 7 or May 8. Honestly, this topic is gigantic. In the description I put a link to a subreddit that discusses a lot of stuff. You should definitely consider checking it out, since this video only serves as an introduction to this gigantic topic. I also put down links to news articles that also cover this topic. If you liked the video and want to see more, please consider subbing to the channel. Leave a rating and a comment, and I'll see you guys next week at the same time with a new video. See ya.